Welcome, dear students. Myself, Mrs. Kavita Coburne from GSHL High School, Ozar English Medium, is going to present a video for Standard 9th Subject Science 2 and the Unit 7 Energy Flow in Ecosystem. This is the first part of the video. Before we start the chapter, first of all, we should understand the meaning of the chapter's name, that is the energy flow in an ecosystem. One by one, we will say. First, the energy. Energy you have learned. The capacity to do the work is called the energy. Means if you are able to do something, then the energy is required by every living things. We human being also require the energy. For what? To keep our body temperature warm, for the movement, for the thinking power, for breathing, and after this energy is acquired from different sources by different living organisms. Now we will see the ecosystem. Ecosystem defined area in which the community lives with the interaction taking place among the organisms between the community and its non-living physical environment. Here, interaction means the interdependence of the living organisms with the physical environment. Physical environment includes the non-living things. So, an ecosystem is formed by the interaction between all the living and non-living things. Living, we will consider them as a biotic factors, and non-living things, they are considered as a abiotic factors. Both are. Now we will see one picture. Through that you can understand the ecosystem very well. Here it is a picture of an ecosystem. In that you can see the living things, that is the biotic factors. It means the plants and the insects you can see in the water. Then the non-living things. Non-living thing means abiotic factor. Abiotic means that comes the soil, mineral, rock, etc. Below that also the picture is of pond ecosystem. Just for understanding, we will take an example of plant. Plant, it is a living thing. It requires the minerals, it requires the water. They are the non-living things. It also requires the carbon dioxide gas, which is again a non-living thing, a biotic factor for the growth of the plant. So the biotic, abiotic interdepend on each other and the life is possible. Now we will see the ecosystem and its four different trophic levels. The first one is primary consumer, second secondary consumers, third one is apex or the top consumers, and the fourth one is the mixed consumers. Primary consumers are called as a herbivorous, secondary are called carnivorous, apex are called the again carnivorous, and mixed one are called omnivorous. Now we will see one by one. First one is the primary consumers. They are called as a herbivores. In this, those animals are included, those who are depend on the plants specially. So that's why they are called as a primary consumer. We can say grass eating animals only. Example is grasshopper, elephant, goat. They are directly depend on the autotrophs, that is the plants. The next one is the secondary consumers. They are called as a carnivorous. Secondary consumers, they feed on the primary consumers. Example is the frog, owl, fox. The next trophic level is the apex or the top consumers. They are called as a carnivorous or the flesh-eating animals. These consumers use the herbivorous and the carnivorous feed on top consumers. Of course, they are so strong, we are afraid of them. Other living organisms, they don't have that much energy to catch hold of these animals and to eat. So they are at the top level. Next one is the mixed consumers, that is the omnivorous. Omnivorous feeds on herbivorous and carnivorous, means grass eating and flesh eating, both they can consume. Example is humans and bear. Now we have to see how the energy flows in that ecosystem, that is through the food chain. You have learned little bit of the food chain. In the given figure also you can see the food chain is there. This is a simple one, a single line we can say. Food chain's definition is that it is a linkage of organisms within an ecosystem with respect to eating and being eaten is called a food chain. Means in the ecosystem, if the animals, those who are eaten and eating, they are just related with each other in this chain. In the figure you can see two-sided. The grass is eaten by the rabbit, rabbit is eaten by the vulture, or the grass is eaten by the grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by the frog, and the frog is eaten by the snake. It is a simple food chain. The next we are going to see the food web. Web means a little bit intricate chains they are woven here. The intricate network of intertwining of food chains with one another is called as a food web. It means in the figure, if you will just see carefully, simple food chains are there and they are intricated. They are interlinked with each other. That's why they are just creating a web-like structure. You must have saw the cobwebs structure. It is somehow like that only. It doesn't have a specific pattern but little bit intricated one. So it is called as a food web like a cobweb. Now we will see the little difference between the food chain and the food web here. Food chain is the linear sequence of the organisms in which through nutrients and energy flow from one organism to another. But in web, the network of different food chain is called the food web. It simply means that in food chain, the chain is straight and in web, it is just little bit complicated. It can just change the direction. The next main difference between food chain and food web is if one of the organism is missing in food chain, it will affect the chain. The chain become unstable. But this thing doesn't happen in the food web. If any of the organism is missing or removed from the group, then it will not affect the food web. The next topic we are going to see is the trophic levels. Each level in the food chain is called as a trophic level. A trophic level is the step at which the organisms obtains its food in the chain. In the given figure, you can see the different levels are shown to you. The basic and the base one, that is the producers. It comes with the plants and they are the autotrophs. Auto means self, trophs means feeder. Those who can make their own food, they are the autotrophs. So the white dot shows the producers. The next one is the red dot. It shows the herbivorous animals and this is the first trophic level. They are eaten. They are eating the plants. The blue dot shows the second trophic level. In this the carnivorous animals comes. Carnivorous means the flesh eating animals. Next one is the yellow dot, that is the secondary predators or the third trophic levels. In this the omnivorous animal comes. They all heterotrophs means the animals which depend on the others for the food. They are not preparing their own food. They are depend on the plants or the other animals. That's why they all are come in the hetero. The next one is the energy pyramid. Before we start with the pyramid of energy, we should just understand some laws of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics says that energy can be converted from one form to another, but can never be created. In simple words, it is that we can't create, we can't destroy it. Only the energy can be transferred from one form to the other. The second law of thermodynamics says that the transformation is never completely efficient. Means the whole energy will not be transferred to the next level. So, whenever energy is transferred from one form to another, means from one level to the another one, then there will be a decrease of amount of useful energy. As a part of energy is converted into heat, means whole energy is not used up by the second level. Some energy will be just spread it out in the atmosphere in the form of heat. We will just understand through this pyramid. Now in this pyramid, you can see the phytoplanktons, that is basic microorganisms are there. They are consuming the energy near about 10,000 kilocalories. They are having it. And the next energy level is the zooplanktons. So when the energy is transferred to the next level, the energy is transferred only 10%. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So 90,000 is utilized by the phytoplanktons, and out of that some of the energy is given out in the surrounding in the form of heat. The next we can see the zooplanktons. They are eaten by the fishes. So when the fishes are eating, they are getting 1000 kilocalories, and that 100 kilocalories. 100 means that is 10% of that 1000. Again, then to the humans. Humans are getting the 10 kilocalories from the fishes. And that 10 is again the 10% of. For better understanding, you can pause this video for a second and you can just calculate how much is 10% of 10,000. It is 1000. Again, 10% of 1000 is 100 and 10% of 100 is 10. So you can better understand this transformation of. So from this energy pyramid, we can understand that the initial quantity of energy goes on decreasing at every energy level and every energy exchange. Not only the energy decreases, the number of organisms also decreases. See the size of the pyramid. It keeps on tapering towards the end. It means the number of organisms from the lowest level to the highest level, they are decreasing in number. So this pattern of exchange of energy in an ecosystem is called as a pyramid of energy. Now the question comes, at the apex level, from there where the energy will go? Yes, there also the energy is used up by the human beings. 10% of it is gone up. Up means where it is not given in the atmosphere directly. It is used up means when the apex consumers die, this energy is available to the decomposers. These fungi and other organisms decomposes the bodies of the dead animals. They are the decomposers. In this, they are obtaining the food for themselves, and after that they are converting into simple carbon compounds, and these carbon compounds are used up by the plants for their growth. So according to the law, this energy is not at all destroyed. It is just converted from the one level to the other one. It is not created by anyone. It is just used up by the next energy levels. Now we will see this transfer of energy is a one-way transport. Means where from it is coming, it doesn't go back again there. It means the sun is the only source of energy for this ecosystem. Green plants, they are totally depend on the sunlight, means the solar energy. In the form of heat they are getting, they are making the food by the process of photosynthesis. After this photosynthesis, they are providing the food to the next level, that is the herbivorous animals. Herbivorous is transferred to the carnivorous animals, and like this the energy is transferred from one tropic level to the next till the apex consumer. After the apex consumer die, the decomposers are using up this energy. Some of the energy they are using it for their growth, but some of the energy they are giving out in the atmosphere in the form of heat. Now the heat produced by these microorganisms, it does not have that much power. Means this heat energy does not have that power to go back to the sun. So that's why it is called as a one-way transport. This passage of energy is called as a one-way transport. Now in this video we have learned the food chain, food web, tropic levels and the energy pyramid. Hope you all have understood it very well. Stay home, stay safe, and take care of everyone. Wait for the next video. Till then, bye to everyone.